In this segment, I will be discussing the comparisons and contrasts between two works that were done in the late 1400s. The first of which is the Baptism of Christ, which was done by Pietro Perugino in 1486. It is now in the Sistine Chapel. And the second one is The Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli. It was commissioned by the Medici family in 1484 and completed in 1486. So this is the birth of Venus. Here we have in the center is Venus, and on her left is the god of wind, and next to him is a nymph. And then on her right is a hora of spring. So the god of wind is blowing Venus toward the shore and toward the hora, which gives it a cyclical motion. And Venus is coming over the water on a shell, which I'll get back to later and its importance. Venus is standing in a very specific pose. She is also she's highly sculpted, and she's pale, which is reminiscent of a marble sculpture. And this shows that she is symbolic of beauty, she's symbolic of love. So she is the epitome of beauty and love in this, in that she is like a sculpture. And then over here we have the Baptism of Christ. The central figure on the left is Jesus. He is being baptized by Saint John the Baptist. And here he mirrors Venus in his stance. He is standing very similarly to how she is. However, his body looks slightly emaciated. His hair is stringy. And he is wearing a cloth here. This is reminiscent of how he looked when he was crucified. In addition to Christ's emaciated figure foretelling the crucifixion, there are also 3 trees in the background, which represent the 3 crosses that were at the crucifixion. He is being baptized by a shell here, which is the same means by which Venus is being carried over the water. He is being covered in water. He's also standing in the water, and Venus is standing on top of the water. So here the water is symbolic of death, as the ancient people believed it was a symbol of death because it was mysterious to them, and it was dark and deep. On the left with Jesus, as he is a symbol of love, as it is foreshadowing of his crucifixion, we would seem to think that his love is going to come to an end and going to come into death. However, there is light coming over the horizon, which shows that this death isn't the end, that there is more to come, and that his death will bring some sort of resolution. And then with Venus, it looks as though, as she's standing over the water, as she is being born, that it seems that her love is coming into life. However, as the painting has a cyclical motion, she is being brought to the right over by the woods, and the woods over here are dark. They come in abruptly, so this shows that her love will come to an abrupt and dark end. And here you can see that if you just look at these paintings without taking in the elements and the patterns, you would think that this was just the baptism of Jesus, that he was just going to die in the future, and that this was just symbolic of him coming to death. And you would just think that on the right, Venus is being born, and this is about life. However, if you look at these closely and how they mirror each other, they tell a different story.